Hey, everybody. Welcome to Rogersville Faith Assembly podcast. I'm Monica. Thankful that you all joined me. If this is your first time, well, you're welcomed. Everyone's welcomed here. And if you are a returned viewer, we appreciate you coming back. Don't forget, either way, to like, subscribe, and share to the channel. I think you're going to really enjoy tonight. If you are in a relationship and that relationship is failing, whether it's a marriage, more so if it's a marriage, but a relationship in general, you need to stay tuned for what you're going to hear. This is all about the way that God works in people's lives. It's God's stories. That's what we want here at Faith Assembly, for people to know that God has a story that we have to tell about him in our life. And what he does for one, he's going to do for another, because the Bible says he's no respecter of persons. So tonight, we have very special guests, two awesome people. And you're going to hear about the God story in their life. So don't go anywhere. You definitely don't want to miss it. Tonight with us, we have two very special guests, and they're also part of Faith Assembly Church, and very dear friends of mine as well, Jason and Becky Teester.
Thanks for having us, Monica.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I think a lot of people are going to be blessed.
So we hope so.
Absolutely. Let's start out with just a little bit of background. Jason and Becky are husband and wife. How many years have you all been married?
23.
Yeah.
23 years.
Yes.
How did you guys meet?
We met actually when cruising was a thing in Rogersville.
Oh, okay.
Met in town.
Yeah, I was with friends, he was with friends, and we just kind of attracted like magnets.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
And all these years later.
Yeah.
And I bet you it was smooth sailing all these years.
Oh, no.
Absolutely.
Jason's wife. Oh, yeah, they were.
That's why we're here, because we want to talk about our mess into a message. That's what we say.
Oh, all right.
Mhm.
All right. Oh, I can't wait to hear this
Yeah.
myself, because I've not heard it.
Yes.
Well, start with the God story we have for you tonight.
Okay. So we'll start back at the beginning, I guess. I was 17 when me and Jason started dating. I had just turned 17. Jason was my safe place. He was my home. He was my comfort. Just always felt like that we kind of was meant to be together. I don't know. It wasn't the nerves of dating or anything like that. It was
Right.
just a comfortable situation. And then we got married when I got out of high school. And about 4 or 5 years later, we had our son. Of course, we had bought a house in the meantime. Jason worked a lot. I worked a lot. When I got pregnant with our son, I gave up the job that I had.
Right.
Kind of went into business for with my mom.
Right.
But Jason picked up a lot of extra hours
Yeah.
to help support. Of course,
Doing the
financial
job of the man of the house.
Yeah,
That's right.
financial. During that time, I think we started kind of drifting away at some point with one another. Our finances was taken care of and stuff, but our marriage was failing big time.
When you work a lot like that, you don't have a lot of time to work on family values and
Right.
spending time with your family. It happens so slow
Mhm.
that you don't realize anything is really going wrong
Right.
Yeah.
until you're 10 years down the road, and then you look back and you can pinpoint where it slowly started drifting apart. But by that time, it your marriage can be in pretty bad shape.
Mhm.
It's like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And we would have like little disagreements, but nothing. We never really fought over anything big. Um, but deep down, I think I had some resentment going on. Jason got to go to work. He got to leave home.
Mhm.
Jason enjoyed fishing, so
Yep.
he went fishing a lot. He would go to the gym and stuff, and I kind of felt like I was, I didn't get the girlfriend time. I didn't get. I think I had some resentment there. Um, and of course, then I focused a lot on being a mom.
Right.
A lot on being a mom,
Which
which I know.
you're an amazing mom.
Thank you. That's not a bad thing, but I think kind of neglected. I think I started pushing myself away from Jason, almost building a wall.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put all the blame on him, for things that went wrong, but
And I guess when you work all the time and you get some time off, uh, you feel like you already get to do what you want to do.
Right.
When in essence you should be with your time off, spending it with your family.
Family. Yeah. Now, were y'all? I don't mean to interrupt you, Becky. Were y'all in church at this time?
Uh,
we was. Um, at church, but I don't think we felt anything.
And I wasn't at church much. I worked 7 days.
Yeah, I took Zed to church. Um, he was at a church that had a really, really good children's program.
Right.
He was actually saved there, baptized there, and that was my main goal.
Yeah.
You know, I knew God, but I wanted our son to know God. And then I guess Jason, he would go with his son while he was off.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like we connected and grew in our church. It was
What about in your relationship with church? I mean, what about your relationship with the Lord?
Yeah.
no,
No.
no.
No,
I don't
grow
feel
it.
like
Because there's a lot of people in church that don't have a
Yeah.
relationship with the Lord.
right.
Yeah.
And you know, I think we went to church to say we went to church.
Yeah.
I know that might be sad to say, but
That's
my
the
house
truth
was.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we were bench warmers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want that relationship with God. I wanted that strongness, that closeness, but I don't think we were where we were,
Yeah.
you know, at that time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't willing to put forth the effort at that time that it takes to have a close walk with God.
Okay.
And that you got to put forth the.
Absolutely.
I mean, God can do incredible things and will help you all along the way, but you got to do your part
That's right.
as well if you want to walk with Him.
Absolutely.
Because that's one good thing about free will. He don't force you to do nothing, so
Mhm.
it's on you
That's it.
how much or how little you get of it.
That's right. That's a great point, and you're absolutely right. So what happened? So he's working a lot. You have resentment built up.
Yes.
How many years now were you into the marriage?
10 years, I guess, maybe
Yeah, I'd say
12.
yeah,
10
about
or 12.
12, about the 12-year mark.
Yeah.
Cause there for about 3 years, I prayed a prayer, and it was that God give me the husband that I deserved, or for God to help me get out.
Oh. Oh.
That was
I
my
mean,
prayer.
our relationship was broke.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, we was just strangers living in the same house.
Jason worked graveyard. I worked day shift. We didn't share the same bed. We didn't. I mean, when he was off, he did his thing. I had, like I said, become with Zed, our son,
Right.
and had started, you know, doing things with him.
Yeah.
And instead of us being within our marriage.
Yeah. So what? So I
So
can see kind of where this is going, but
yeah. So Jason worked a lot. I mean, his work family become more of his family and stuff. We went through the death of his dad, which was very stressful, a very sad time during that time. And then it was like Jason kind of changed big time. Almost like he did not want to be home with me and Zed. You know, it got even worse. And so then we went through a very painful experience.
Yeah.
And it was very hurtful. You can choose how raw you want to get with it, but I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you can pretty much well think of what it was. During that time, I think that I kind of, I just had to lean on God. I
Yeah.
know that He was there. That was the closest that I've ever felt to God in my life.
the most broken point in your life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, He was my leaning post. And I think Jason, he even, you know, he hit rock bottom,
Yeah.
and he knew that he had lost, I think, everything.
And we come to the point we was at the crossroads whether it was either divorce or God is the only way we was gonna make it.
Hmm.
And well, we didn't choose the divorce.
Right.
Thank God for
Yeah.
that.
And it took a while, but I got more education, changed jobs with less hours. So, and I recommend anybody, no matter where you're at in your marriage, be sure to pick time to spend with each other. You know, if it's just 2 days a month that you write down on the counter and say, no matter what, we're doing something them 2 days.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy as life goes on, you forget that part of your
Mhm.
marriage.
I think you even not. I'm not married, but I think married couples also forget when they first fell in love and how they loved each other.
You know?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
like, and you gotta get that just reignited back into the relationship and remember why you fell in love with each other.
Yes, because I felt like that we had kind of completely fell out of love with each other.
We didn't like each other. I mean,
Yeah,
It got to
I
that
mean,
point.
Yeah, it
when
was
it
bad,
became
yeah.
this hurtful time in my life, I was also relieved because I thought, well, thank you, God, you've answered my prayer. Because I had prayed that prayer for so long of God to give me the husband I deserved or to help me find a way out.
And that what you looked at it as your way out.
Because I thought, Lord, I'm gonna get child support. I mean, I'll just be honest, and we actually had some money in savings, and I thought I'm gonna be able to do this.
Yeah.
And so, God, you found my way out. This is my way. This is how. And actually, I did go file for divorce.
Yeah.
I mean,
did you really?
I did. Yeah, I had so much hate and anger towards Jason. I went and filed for divorce, and when Jason came to the lawyer's office that day, he said he cried right in front of the lawyer and everything. I was cold. I'm not
You
gonna
didn't
lie.
feel anything. Were you numb to the point of?
I think I was. I think I was.
I refuse to sign the papers.
He
Did you really?
Yeah. Fine.
Strong-willed.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, and then I got some really good advice from a family member, and she said, if he is willing to fight for you, are you so ready to just throw your hands up in the air and not fight that? How much fighting have you done? And that kind of hit, and so I we just had a talk.
A lot of
A
late
lot
night and
of
long,
a
long
lot of talking.
conversations.
I mean, it wasn't easy at first.
Now you never went through with the divorce.
We did not go through with the divorce. We decided to put it on hold. We talked to the lawyer. Um, I think that we flooded things out that neither one of us realized that what we had held in, and it felt good to just let it come flooding out. Many, many years of just things that had just built up.
That's another thing that hurts a marriage. It's the little things that builds up.
Right.
You know, having a open relationship with one another. It's, it don't hurt. You got to learn to discuss things without anger,
Yeah.
and that's a hard thing for any individual to do.
Absolutely.
Cohabitation, as you are when you're married, is can be extremely difficult.
Yes.
Discussing things, no matter how small, keeps it from building up over time.
Yep.
I think that's what started our downfall to start with. Just little bitty things.
Holding it in.
Yeah, but it ain't no use talking about that. But now, if we got an issue now, we talk about it.
Yeah, everything's open. We're honest. We keep everything in the light. I say things fester in the darkness. Don't close it.
And the other thing is, now both of you, 'cause, I mean, I know from going to church with you, your relationship with the Lord.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, yes. Um, what I was going to say is one of the points when we and Jason had done a lot of talking and stuff and had, we still didn't know where we was going. Actually, a lot of our talking was even, how are we going to do birthday parties with our son? How are we going to do holidays with our son?
Yeah.
We wanted to be kind of mutual agreement. We didn't want him to be affected by things.
Right.
We tried to protect him from it all. But we were actually sitting in a restaurant and we were talking, and I know it had to be God because it wasn't me, because I was kind of like, you know. But I just looked at Jason and I said, I forgive you. I forgive you. And me and him, we both just started crying in the middle of the restaurant and got up and was embracing. People probably thought we were crazy, but it was just like, I get chills talking about, but it was just like, that was God's way of just saying release. Yeah. And it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
And He has forgiven us for so much that how could I not forgive my spouse and try to work it out with him?
Yeah.
And that's when their
So many
relationship
years.
and their healing
Yeah.
really started.
I did.
And we got really dedicated about going to church.
Mhm.
Visited several different churches
Right.
over a few years before we actually started coming here.
We're glad you're here, both of you.
Oh,
Yeah, I enjoy being here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Jason, I get tickled because I'm like the prayer I prayed for so many years, for 3 years, of God to find my way out or to give me the husband I deserve. I finally have the husband I deserve.
Yeah.
My husband's in ministry here at church doing the man's thing. I've watched him get up and teach. I have watched my husband cry, which, he always acted like was a weakness of a man. But I have watched him shed tears. We have been to the altar together many times. We pray together. I mean, it's just a whole different balance within our relationship.
I think you just hearing all this is where you've realized that you've got to have God in the center of it all.
You do.
You do.
You do.
It's that 3 chord that three-string chord
Yep.
where it's the husband, the wife, and the Lord,
Yes.
and that's what makes it so strong.
Yes.
And that's a hard thing because, Jesus said when a man marries a woman, they become one.
Yeah,
And learning to walk as that one person is a hard thing to do, and you can't do it without help of the
that's
Lord.
right.
I mean, it takes that.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for anyone that might be watching right now that's struggling in a relationship or finding something? Because I think forgiveness, true forgiveness,
Oh,
is so difficult.
it's huge.
It is.
It is. And I listened to public opinion of how could you trust somebody? How can you trust somebody? How can you forgive them? And I'll say with that, I didn't know the answer to that myself, when I was asked that question many a time. But it came. It came. I don't question anything no more. I have just such peace with it. Actually, I think I have more trust now than what I ever did in our marriage. I mean, it's just it's really, different. My advice to anybody would be to just pray upon it. Pray upon it. Talk to your spouse. Be open. I don't care if it's an affair, if it is debt or whatever. Talk to your spouse about it, and don't listen to other people's opinions.
Yeah,
We're so busy in
Worrying about what everybody else.
else
that's
thinks
right.
that we don't pray upon it. We don't sit and truly listen to God. Instead, we're in our minds thinking, what does this person want to think? And what does that person want to think? And at the end of the day, that doesn't
That's
matter
exactly
because
right.
it's between you and your spouse and God. Yeah. So,
And one thing is, no relationship is too broken that it can't be fixed. And saying that, it takes both the husband and the wife working hard, especially where we come from. You both got to be committed.
Yeah,
If one is just committed,
it's not
no,
gonna
we
work.
both got to
Well,
be committed.
I think when a relationship goes through the fire, goes through those trials and those times and those seasons that you just don't know which way to go. Like you had said,
yeah.
you're either going to come out of it separated or you're going to come out of it stronger.
Yes.
So praise God, you all came out of it stronger.
Yes. And I
And
mean, it's a miracle that it happened because, like I said, I had so much anger, so much hate.
and I'll say this: even now, no marriage at no time is ever going to be perfect.
Yeah.
No,
But you learn communication is the key. You learn how to talk about it and do it without getting mad,
yeah,
without getting angry. Seeing their point of view as well as your
right,
own.
right.
And it takes some compromising
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of times, but if your marriage is worth saving and it's worth working for.
It is.
absolutely.
It is. I think a lot of people go into it this day and time too of just thinking it's so easy to get out
Yeah.
of. And I'm not saying you should stay in an abusive
Right.
relationship. There, is reason for divorce
Yeah.
and all of that. But people make mistakes.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes.
And I think so many people look at marriage as just a piece of paper,
Yes.
and they forget that it is a covenant
Yeah.
between those two people
Yes.
and God.
And it's a special bond.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
is.
a very special bond. And I just think, if God has forgiven me for so many things I've done in life and stuff, how could I not forgive for mistakes?
It takes a lot of work to come back from that too.
Yeah.
A lot of praying, a lot of reading and studying.
Yeah.
Find as the husband of the house, you got to find your place
That's right.
as the head of the house,
That's
and
right.
not the master of the house.
Right.
You know,
Right.
uh,
Right.
lead
Bi-
the home as a servant,
Yeah.
as Jesus did. You
And,
know,
and
he let-
Jesus, and in the Bible, it says that you're supposed to love your wife as
Yeah.
he loved the church.
Yep.
That's right.
That's pretty powerful love.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's not always easy.
No.
No.
But through prayers,
Yeah.
you
And
can do it.
I think that we get so wrapped up in what we see on television, and
Yeah.
we watch rom-coms or something like that. And you see this picture perfect relationship,
Yes.
and they're just all lovey-dovey
Yeah.
all the time, and that's not real.
No.
That's
That's
fantasy.
fantasy.
That's fantasy.
Yes.
That's exactly
Yes.
right. The
Um,
reality is it's a struggle and it's work.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Every single day, I have picture actually hang up that says like the hardest work you'll ever do is within the four walls of your home in the street.
That's good.
I mean,
With your spouse and with your children.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you have your children too, and you know, to those that it's just so easy to get out of marriage with and stuff. The children are affected.
Yes.
So much. We've even talked about that. Would it have been different with Zed if we had a divorce? You know, when he hit, because he was hitting right at teenage years almost. And so, you know, what would his teenage years have been
Right.
like? Would he have rebelled? Would he have, you know, and we just think about that. And we have to thank God we're so blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so blessed.
And it affects so many people. It even affects the extended family.
It does.
You know, because after 10 years being together,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I know your mom, you know,
My mom
loved
loves
Jason.
Yeah,
you know
my
what I
mom
mean?
loves Jason like a son.
Yeah.
And
So it affects so many more
Yeah.
people other than just the two.
yeah, Jason's family's my family, and my
Yeah.
family's Jason's family.
And,
So
and when it comes to parenting, once we got to where we're at now,
Yeah.
it made parenting better because we agreed on parenting. We didn't disagree
Right.
yes.
on parenting.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't confusing to our son. He
Right.
knows exactly where we stood on any situation.
Yep.
And he knows we was going to stick together
Yeah.
on that
Mhm.
part of it. And I think that builds structure in your children because you don't want to, you may not think they're paying attention, but they watch.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
you don't want them
That's exactly
to
right.
repeat the same mistakes you did.
Yeah. And they also, especially, he's watching you as a man
Yeah.
and learning from you. You know, so was he aware of the situation y'all were going through in the marriage?
He
Little
knew,
bit.
yeah, he knew that we had separated and all of that, but he did not know this yet.
And then you
Yeah.
saw the rebuild
Yeah.
and the comeback and God, how he worked in your guys'
Yes.
lives,
And,
which is amazing.
and I hope that, I don't know what word to use, encourages him because he's got a girlfriend now, and
Yeah.
they're pretty serious. They will probably go ahead and get married on down the road.
Right.
And I hope he just learns how to work, how to be open, how to build a strong relationship. But
Mhm.
with you got to do that through Christ
Yeah.
and church. You got to have that in your marriage,
Absolutely.
and that that helps fight off temptations.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be other people, shopping, a ton of different things that can destroy your marriage.
Yeah.
And you keep God first in your marriage, and you got your head on point. You know what you're looking for.
And I think a lot of times, like, you'll find a wife going to church, maybe the husband's not going. I don't know if it's just because I'm a woman, but I feel that it's so important, the prayers of the wife or the mother.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so if you're going through something and you're a woman watching this and you're having problems and maybe you're going to church and you desperately want your husband to go to church and he's not, keep praying.
Yes.
Keep praying and God will keep moving.
Yes. Well, that was like when I started here at Faith Assembly. Tabby, which was pastor's wife or daughter, had invited me, and so anyhow, I came to church finally, and the first few times it was me and Zed. And then Mother's Day come around, and Jason said, "Well, what do you want to do for Mother's Day? Where do you want to go?" And I said, "I'm going to church." And so anyhow, he's like, "Okay, I'll go with you and stuff." And so, because Jason liked to fish enough that Jason said that fishing was his church. That's how he was. That was his time of God. But Patsy, the pastor's wife, said that she was praying that lightning was going to strike him in the boat. So I think it scared him a little bit to where he did some Sunday sit. She really.
Well, yeah.
That's our Patsy. Gotta love her.
Absolutely. Wouldn't want her any other way.
Yeah, gotta have her sisters on her
That's
side.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I think a lot of people have that misconception that they can be with God anywhere. They can talk with God anywhere. You can and you should talk to
Yep.
God everywhere, anywhere, you know, all the time. But the Bible tells us not to forsake the assembly of the church.
Right.
And so that's his word, not our word. So that's really important. So he hasn't missed a day since.
No,
Well, not more than a handful, anyways. Yeah.
and that's with us, like with the church and stuff. We had never found a church that we love so much,
Yeah.
and we have grown so much.
Yeah.
We're family.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, if we miss, we're sad.
Yeah.
It's because for some reason that out of our control. But I don't know. It's like family, and we're scared to miss because we're scared. What are we going to miss?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. We want all the blessings we can get. So yeah.
That's right.
You,
That's
you,
right.
you never learn too much.
No, and you never stop learning.
No.
No, you never stop. Guys, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I want you to end this with a little bit of advice to somebody from each one of you. What would you tell men?
Uh, your job is important. Support your family, but don't let it consume your marriage. Uh, Working excessive overtime to have nice things ain't worth the neglect on your marriage. I would recommend a little overtime if you need to from time to time, but be sure you spend time with your spouse.
And my advice would be, as a wife, take care of your children, be the good mama and stuff, but also give time for your husband. It's okay to have a date night.
Absolutely.
It's okay to
It's important.
yeah, it is. It is. So anyhow, and don't be scared to communicate. Don't be scared. Is this going to start an argument? Is this going to start a fight? You know, it's okay to communicate. I think it's key in
Yeah.
the marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and pick off first.
That's
Yeah.
right. I knew that was coming.
Pick off first.
Guys, thank you.
Yeah,
so
and,
much.
and as a husband and as a father, it is your responsibility to make sure that your family is in church and you lead them as Christ led the church.
Amen. Absolutely. Great advice. Great testimony. Great God.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
I just want to thank you both so much for being here
I
with me
thank you
this
for having
evening.
us on.
Monica,
It's been a
you.
blessing and an honor.
It
Thank you
has.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Well, folks, that's a wrap for tonight. I hope you were blessed. I'm sure you were. Great words of advice. And remember, we serve a great God who is moving in our lives. Don't stop praying. Don't stop seeking Him. Don't stop believing that He can't do the same thing for you as He's done for Jason and Becky. So thank you guys so much. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, goodbye. Thank you. And be blessed. More importantly, always be a blessing to someone else. Take care.